Recently, I discovered that 4 out of my 5 children, ages 33, 30, 28, 24, and 14, are not biologically mine. My wife, age 51, has not addressed this issue. I apologize if this message seems lengthy and scattered. My emotions are understandably overwhelming at the moment. My life has been completely shaken in the past few weeks, and I am seeking guidance. At this point, I am not ready to discuss this situation with my friends, parents, or siblings. Some background: I met my wife in high school, and we got married during college. We have 5 wonderful children whom I have always cherished, despite recent revelations. Until recently, I believed our marriage was perfect. We were high school sweethearts who enjoyed each other's company and rarely argued. I have always strived to be a loving and attentive husband. I share this information to provide context and receive the best possible advice. For instance, while my job has often required me to work long hours, and I may not have always been present when she needed me, I want to emphasize that I have never felt our marriage was at risk, and I never would have suspected my wife of being unfaithful. She has always been incredibly supportive and dedicated to our family. Recently, my oldest daughter had an ancestry test done, and the results implied that I may not be her biological father. She confided in me about this, visibly distressed by the news. I immediately assured her that she will always be my daughter and that I will love her unconditionally. We decided to undergo an official paternity test to verify the results, as ancestry tests can sometimes be inaccurate. The results confirmed that I am not her biological father. This revelation deeply affected me, and I admit that I broke down in tears in front of my daughter. The combination of emotions was overwhelming after discovering my wife's betrayal and realizing the impact my reaction was having on my daughter. I wished I had kept my emotions in check for her sake. Despite my turmoil, I decided to speak to my other children about the situation, excluding my youngest, who is still in school. I wanted to understand the extent of my wife's infidelity and determine if reconciliation was possible, given the circumstances. I made sure to reassure them of my love and commitment as their father before revealing the details. Their response was incredibly touching. They were more concerned about my well-being than anything else. Their unwavering support has been my source of strength during these difficult weeks. As we prepare for paternity tests for each child, I am grateful for the bond we share regardless of biology. Each of the 3 children is not biologically mine. Collectively, my 4 children have 3 different fathers, adding to the complexity of the situation. It is as if my wife was not just involved in an affair but multiple ones. Confronting her, I expected a confession and plea for forgiveness. However, she denied the accusations, disregarding the validity of the tests. This lack of accountability only exacerbates the situation, leaving me confused and hurt. Despite my persistence, she dismisses the issue, growing defensive and attempting to shift blame onto me. As we have been together since high school, she questions my trust in her. But how can I trust her when faced with undeniable evidence? Now, faced with this turmoil, I seek advice on how to reassure my children that our bond remains unchanged. My repeated reassurances have not prevented them from second-guessing me in the face of total breakdowns too. How should I approach my youngest daughter given the state of my marriage? I fear it may be beyond repair, and I need to consider what to disclose to my daughter. While I want to shield her from the truth until she's older, I'd also want to avoid being portrayed as the villain by my wife. I am struggling to see a future without my wife, having been together for my entire life. Despite advice to consider ending the marriage due to ongoing deception, I am hesitant considering our 5 children. I am open to exploring any possible avenues to salvage our relationship. Sit your youngest down and have an age-appropriate conversation with her. Tell her that you and her mother will be getting a divorce, that the other kids aren't your biological kids, but you still love them and are still their father. Let her know that she won't be able to stay married to their mother. She can have a DNA test done if she wants, but it's not necessary. You'll love her regardless. She doesn't have to decide right now. One step at a time, sort out the logistics of leaving, find a new place, and get yourself set up. Focus on maintaining your relationship with all of your children. With the youngest, try to get as much custody as possible or even full custody if you can. Create traditions that everyone can enjoy, like monthly dinner at your house or a standing invitation. Please invite any of them to come over for Sunday lunch. Maybe you can gather every so often and try new activities together, such as pottery, kayaking, or rock climbing, that will fit into everyone's schedules. Remember to keep in touch with each of them individually, inquire about their lives, and offer assistance with any projects, especially home-related ones. Treat them well and be kind to yourself, and never speak poorly about their mother. It seems like you wouldn't do that, but refrain from putting them against her or suggesting they can't see her or treat her well if they wish to. You should establish a good relationship with them. As you will be co-parenting with your soon-to-be ex for the next few years, aim to make the process as smooth as possible for everyone involved. Additionally, ensure your youngest child receives counseling or therapy. This will be a difficult time for her. I am truly sorry to hear about this situation. Finding out in such a cruel and deceitful manner, with continuous lies, is unbelievable. 1. Abel, it's truly disappointing. I was hoping to help answer your questions. 2. You handled the situation admirably by discussing it with your children before and after, emphasizing that it hasn't affected your bond. Keep it up as they rely on you, just as you rely on them. Your youngest may have questions, so when she's ready, share the truth. It's a tough situation, but you're an incredible father. If your wife chooses to lie, you might have to endure it for your child's sake. Your other children may support you, and the truth may surface. 3. I wouldn't stay unless she confesses fully, takes accountability, apologizes, and commits to therapy, both individually and as a couple. Personally, I would require access to all her communication channels. She's still not being honest despite clear evidence, which is unacceptable. If you have further questions, feel free to ask. If she continues to lie after having multiple affairs and children with different men, leaving might be the best option. But I never want to be like that person who just says, leave. It's a lot. There's a lot we don't know. This is your life. Thank you so much for your kind words and support. The consensus on my youngest seems to be that I should tell her the truth now. Waiting until she's older might make her feel betrayed for being kept in the dark. Do you have any thoughts on that? My top priority right now is her well-being. Everyone else is an adult and can handle whatever happens, but she is still young, and I worry that it will seriously negatively affect her development. More edits and little updates from the poster edit. Thanks so much to everyone for all the support and advice. I have not replied to as many comments as I should have, but I've read each and every one and taken your advice to heart. I'll continue reading any comments or messages you send me. Again, I can't begin to thank you for all your support. If this is resolved, I might post an update, but if she continues to lie, then I don't think I'll bother after receiving advice from both this thread and their /parenting thread. I have decided on a plan of action. 1. I will get second tests to ensure accuracy. 2. I will confront my wife with all 4 of our older children present. 3. I will explain the situation to my youngest child and let her decide if she wants to have a paternity test. 4. I am committed to seeking therapy to address my deteriorating mental state. 5. Depending on my wife's response and any explanations she might provide, I am open to considering counseling, but divorce seems likely unless there is a significant change in her attitude. 6. I will contact a lawyer and prepare for divorce if necessary. I appreciate all the support and advice shared here. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to offer guidance. 1. The results from the ancestry test indicated that I might not be my daughter's biological father. My family is entirely Irish, with no known relatives outside of Ireland besides my immediate family. I even have the typical red hair. However, my daughter's ancestry results did not show any connections to the British Isles, Western Europe, or Northern Europe, which raised suspicions. Despite this, the results are not definitive, which is why paternity tests were pursued. 2. Which of your children have the same father? My 2 oldest daughters share the same father. 3. How were your children conceived? Our eldest daughter was not planned, but all the subsequent children were. Each time we decided to have a child, we conceived several months after actively trying. The first 3 planned children were a mutual decision, while my wife convinced me to have our youngest. She was in her late 30s and wanted another child before it was too late, and eventually I agreed. Our youngest was conceived several months after we began trying. 4. Have you been tested for infertility? I am unsure about my fertility status, as I have never undergone formal fertility testing. I suspect that I may be infertile and am planning to undergo a fertility test soon, since the children I plan for are materializing. Many followers have been eagerly awaiting updates, but it may take a while before I can provide any clarity on the situation. While I can't confirm an exact timeline for the update, I assure you it will happen. It may be weeks or even months away. I appreciate the overwhelming support I have received. In a recent development, I had a difficult confrontation with the children's mother following my earlier post, but unfortunately, it didn't resolve any issue as he apologized for the difficult experience you endured. My question is, do you want me to shorten the length or maintain it while enhancing it to make it more engaging? Guilt that is unearned and undeserved. You should not feel guilty for asking her questions, seeking answers, and trying to move forward together or separately. You are not responsible for her choices, including cheating, lying, and not fighting for her marriage or family. It is important to recognize that she made decisions independently of you, and the consequences of those decisions are hers alone. It may be challenging to let go of this guilt, so seeking therapy to help with the grieving process is a valuable step towards healing. I offer my condolences and support during this difficult time. I'm truly sorry for your loss and all the pain your family has endured. Thank you for sharing, even though you didn't owe us strangers on the internet anything. Remember, you are not responsible for what happened in the past or her reaction to it. It's important to recognize that her actions were beyond your control. While it may be difficult to hear, her decision to end her life was selfish, just like the choices she made before that. Be grateful for your children and their goodness, and acknowledge that she played a role in shaping who they are today. It's crucial to prioritize your well-being and seek therapy immediately, as you are now the sole parent to your children. It will be tough, but stay strong for them. Things will improve. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. See you in the next video. Have a good day.